live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black.
All right, all right, all right. Live, uncut, unedited, tell the truth. Shame the devil. Come on in,
You
people.
already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being
All
black.
right, people. Y'all already know what time it is. It's live, uncut, unedited. We tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black. Folks, if they got a problem with you loving being black, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell them. I'm live tonight. And I always say it's a good time to be living in the land of the living. We could have been plucked out of this life during a Memorial Day weekend, but God decided to have mercy on us. He decided to have mercy. Ain't that a wonderful thing? Wonderful thing. We could have been one of the average, but we wasn't. We could have been wounded. We could have been a fatality. But look at God. Look at God. Look at a God. He did it, people. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm glad to be living in the land of the living. It's going down tonight. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Tuning in. I'm going to try to acknowledge a couple of my guests. We got a special segment tonight. We're going to be talking about missing people and sexual crimes in the house, in the household, you know. All right, Valisa, how you doing, my sister? Sharita, Miss Peggy, thank you, Peggy. You always a blessing to me. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Ron Gilmore, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? People live, uncut, unedited. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil. I want to thank everybody. Roster Man Cox, what's up? Peggy, I appreciate you. Don't you ever let nobody say that I don't appreciate you. Thank you for the blessing. Thank you for it. I appreciate it. They said they always say money never late is always on time. I find that to be true. Sharice right. La Goddess, what's going on Memorial Day? Hey, I'm alive. You looking at me? I'm alive. Trust me. I could have been one of the average. Anybody that listened to me, I said the average people to get killed is 9. And the average people to get wounded or shot is 41. And look up Monday morning. Tuesday morning, look what we said. 9 people dead and 41 wounded. Call that number to the point. CPD can't say it was safer. All right, Ella Clark, I see you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Jules Smith, I see you. Bless you. All right. Chocolate Deluxe, what's going on? I see you. I see Kenny Nicole. What's up, Kenny Nicole? Venitra Smith, I see you. So y'all miss me. Sweet Jam, Lip and Body, you miss me. I'm back. I'm back. But I was doing groundwork, out there. Ron Gilmore, peace and blessings to you, my brother. All right. All right. Brenda, what's up, Brenda? Queen B, Claiborne. All right. Was that gaming? Was that let me see how you pronounce that. Let me make sure I get it right. It said pot. Was that pot toda game? I guess I got it right. Hello, Martin. I may have some news for you if you still want to expose a fraud. You know I do. Come on with it. Come on with it. Bonnie Williams. Come on with it. All right. All right. Kathy, what's up, Kathy? Probably see you tomorrow. You know where. Yes, you predicted that, and we are blessed and favored. And that's right, my dear sister, La Goddess. And we're still here. Listen, I'm glad to be living in the land of the living. I'll take no blessing for granted. No blessing for granted. Make sure you guys share this video on YouTube and Facebook. Our YouTube channel is growing. is growing, is growing. I got a great video for you guys tonight, and it's something that I've been talking about. My one of my followers, I will call dear Ella. She inboxed me, and something came to her spirit, and she's a woman of God, and I'm thank God for her to bring it to our attention. And you know, a lot of times I say something, I know I sound comical sometime, and you people be thinking like, oh, Martin, that's just Martin, he just talking. And a lot of you look at me as entertainment because I'm showing you some great content on some videos, but it ain't so great when your loved one is in the thing. Sweet jamming lips and body. I see you. Brenda, I see you again. I see you. Your boy Jed is doxing and attacking a YouTuber over the mess going on in Dalton. My God. She has been threatened and begging for help. Oof, my God. All right, Louis Ramsey, my brother. Hey, brother Martin, we need to hook up and check out Jerk 48. Let me know. Let me know, brother. Just inbox me. I'll send you my number. All right, we're going to get started. I'm not finna wait on nobody. I ain't going to be out here all night. And I just want to get started. And they just come in. Y'all just have to fill them in when they come in. Fill them in. All right, let me clear my screen up and get all that stuff off. Okay. All right. Let's get it rocking.
I don't know. I can't say that I support my uncle and what he did because I don't. I love my uncle. He is my uncle. I'm going to always be for him. But at the same time, you have to understand that people have to be accountable for their actions. If we don't hold people accountable for the things that they do wrong, then people will continue to do wrong. You can't determine what's right or what's wrong based off of a blood relation. I love my uncle to death. I swear I do. But I will never be able to understand how he did something like this to Lauren. He loved Lauren and Lauren loved the life out of him. How he could take her life from her. I can never understand it.
Life always serves as a reminder of why it can be tough to trust people in general, but in this particular story, as you may have heard from the preceding clip, no one saw this catastrophe coming. The narrative begins when a woman, believing a stepfather would always look out for their daughter, gives her child her whole trust, not realizing she was endangering her own child in the process. Let's delve further into this case to see what ultimately caused 16-year-old Lauren Juma's life to end tragically. Before we begin this video, we would like to express our deepest sympathies to the family and friends who were severely affected by this horrible crime. We would also like to send condolences to Lauren's family and friends. Today's case takes us to Humble. Humble is a city located in Harris County, Texas. The city has a population of around 16,000 residents. Humble is situated in southeastern Texas, within the Houston metropolitan area, approximately 20 miles northeast of downtown Houston. The city of Humble was named after one of its founding members, Pleasant Smith Humble. It was originally established as a booming oil town in the early 20th century.
3.
Long live Lauren! Don't stop! Good work! Get out! Work it, Lauren! Work it out! Work it, Lauren! Work it out! Don't stop! Just work it out! Work it, Lauren! Work it out! Work it, Lauren! Work it out! Don't stop! Just work it out! We love you, Lauren!
December 21st, 2005, saw the birth of Lauren Mackenzie Juma in Houston, Texas. The Nimitz High School sophomore, who had recently joined the cheerleading squad, had lofty goals for the future, including a career in the Air Force. Lauren was a polite, intelligent girl who always had a grin on her face. She cherished butterflies, basketball, and drawing. Her mother gave her a huge teddy bear for Christmas 3 years ago. Having given him the name Ted, Lauren informed her elder sisters that he was only hers and they were not allowed to touch him. Lauren's mother, Lori Young, was happy with a 60-year-old man called Van Brisbane when they started dating 5 years ago. After 2 years, he moved in with Lauren and Lori. Lori seemed to love and trust Van, and they seemed to be happy. They were a happy family, with Van supposedly taking on the role of a father. Brisbane was adored by a few of Lori's family. However, a man with terrible intents is hidden beneath that loving father. And things started taking turn for the worst. When a young woman reported to 911 that her mother's boyfriend was holding her sister captive inside the house, deputies were made aware of the situation. At around 1 in the morning on Friday, deputies from the Harris County Constable's office arrived at the incident in the 20400 block of Canton Trace. Authorities said that after they arrived, they heard 2 gunshots, followed by yelling and another gunshot. A male emerged from the house very immediately after, according to the sheriff's office. Deputies said the 60-year-old suspect came out of the home and told them, "Do what you have to do." He was then taken into custody. At about 1 in the morning, Karika Harmon, her older sister, and her mother Lori Young received a FaceTime call from Juma, who informed them that Brisbane was in a room in the dark and that her mother needed to get him out. After Juma shouted that he was carrying a pistol, the conversation was cut off. Lauren's mother was out of town for work when the teen reached out to her, begging her to save her. Lauren was discovered dead from gunshot wounds inside. The only 2 people inside the residence at the time of the murder were Lauren and Brisbane. Lauren was discovered by deputies with her pants down to her knees and suffering from several gunshot wounds. Brisbane was nabbed by deputies with his pants also down. From the $1 million bond a probable cause court judge set for Brisbane following his arrest, the judge increased it to $2 million. The reason for the killing is still unknown.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Sirota.
And I'm Lisa Hernandez. Van Brisbane is charged with murder in the death of Lauren Juma, a junior who attended Nimitz High School in Aldine ISD. Our Kathy Hernandez joining us live from downtown for what was decided in the courtroom this morning. Kathy?
Good morning. All of this went down just a few minutes ago, so we are working to get you all of this information. But what I can tell you right now, a judge increased his bond to $2 million. This while investigators are waiting results to determine if Van Brisbane sexually assaulted the victim before he killed her. 60-year-old Brisbane is charged with murder in the death of his stepdaughter, 16-year-old Laura Juma. He stood in court this morning wearing an orange jumpsuit. According to prosecutors, Lauren called her mom on FaceTime Friday morning, saying he was standing inside her room in the dark and wanted her to tell him to get out, which she did. They say Lauren then screamed, "Mom, he has a gun," and then the call ended. When deputies arrived, they heard 2 gunshots. They took Brisbane into custody and found Lauren dead inside the home. Her father told us she wanted to join the military after high school and one day become a police officer. We talked to Brisbane's niece, who is here inside the courtroom and very emotional.
I don't know. I can't say that I support my uncle and what he did because I don't. I love my uncle. He is my uncle. I'm going to always be here for him. But at the same time, you have to understand that people have to be accountable for their actions. If we don't hold people accountable for the things that they do wrong, then people will continue to do wrong. You can't determine what's right or what's wrong based off of a blood relation. I love my uncle to death. I swear I do. But I will never be able to understand how he did something like this to Lauren. He loved Lauren and Lauren loved the life out of him. How he could take her life from her. I can never understand it.
Very emotional moments there here at the courthouse. Again, a judge increased his bond to $2 million. This while they are awaiting results to see if he sexually assaulted the victim before he killed her. They say those charges could be upgraded to capital murder. Reporting live in downtown Houston, Kathy Hernandez, KPRC 2 News. Increased his bond to $2 million.
reason for the killing is still unknown.
Thank you for joining.
Hold on, put his face back up. That's a sick man right there, people. A sick man right there. That's a sick man right there. Y'all see him? A sick man. A sick man right there. Sick man. That's a sick man. Now, let's get back to the program. I want to say something, people. Want to say something. Today's topic, we're dealing with how to avoid sexual crimes in the home and missing persons, missing people. Now, let me say this, as I always talk about, you got to watch the company you keep. I keep telling y'all ladies over and over and over, you think, let me take my glasses off here. You think that man is looking at you and he's looking at your daughter all the time, eyeballing. Now, you know if his pants is down to his ankle and her pants down, you know what was going on, what he was trying to do, even if he didn't succeed. You know what time that is. Sick. This is a man that she took into her home. She dated for 2 years before she married him. So it wasn't no overnight, but he plotted. And he thought the perfect time is to do what he wanted to do is when she was at work, out of town. See, I know another story similar to this that happened here. The same scenario. Man just got out of prison. Lady took him in her house, fed him and, did everything. And she went to work. Guess what? He killed her daughter and the son because the son tried to help his sister. The man from prison killed both of them. He was fresh out of the joint, prison, killed him. And they wasn't his children at all. So this is real, ladies. So we have to now, let me just say this. I'm not against love. I want you to be in love. I want you to have somebody. Hey, listen, the Bible says it's not good for a man to be alone. And I understand that. Probably the same for a woman. But you got to have somebody around you that love you and not just you love your children. If you got to get up and listen, let me say this. If you catch that freak looking at your babies and a stare of lust, and a lot of you parents, you are known to put your teenage daughter out and call her fast because she got an overdeveloped body and she started wearing these skin tight clothes. She ain't doing nothing but watching you, what you wear. What he said with Martin, you bashing against the women. It was the man that raped and killed this woman. I'm telling you, your selective process, you have to be careful. We don't know what's in the hearts and the minds of these people that we bring into our homes, and we share our bodies with it. We share our beds with it. We share it in the privacies of our home. We don't know that, people. This is a real story. This is not make-believe. I talked about this. This is the first time I've seen this one. But like I said, I know a same story, similar situation. But he killed the brother and sister. Killed both of them.
Wow. That's crazy.
And it's here. This is not over yonder in Texas somewhere. This here. So right now we're gonna come back to this. We got a guest on here tonight. Brandon wanted to talk about some missing people, which he is involved in. Brandon, I'm still waiting on my text too, man. All right,
yeah, I'll get you that in a few seconds,
okay.
Actually.
All right, go ahead. Tell us what you wanted to tell about the missing. Okay. Tell us what you want to tell us about the missing.
Give me about like 5 minutes and then I'll start.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, while he getting started, I got another caller. Hey, caller 9433. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good,
Hello?
good. I'm here. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why you have to watch. You have to watch who you bring around your kids. Period. I'm saying it as a woman for all the females. You have to watch who you bring around your kids. You cannot bring everybody around your kids. Everybody don't deserve to meet y'all kids.
Well, this is what I want to ask you. Hold on. As a woman, what are some of the telltale signs that you can look for in a man like as the man of this caliber?
Telltale sign, if your kids don't like that man or that male, get away from them.
Okay. Now
My granny always taught me that if a kid don't like a male, get away from him.
Now
That's
let
a
me
red flag.
let me say this too with on that. Now, ladies, if you got a revolving door, and a lot of times your kids, your children, they tired of seeing you bringing different men in front of them. How long he's gonna stick around? That's it. They might not come out and say it to you. So now they at the point they don't like nobody that you bring in. Now you look at a certain way. So I want to say that because I understand, and like a lot of you parents, you think because you bring company in late at night, you think your sons and daughters in their sleep, but they know somebody in that house. They know somebody is in that house, and they know mama is being occupied. They know it, including the pet, the dog knows somebody in that house. The cat knows somebody is in that house. So of course, your little children, your teenage, they ain't gonna like nobody because they see their mama with so many different men. All right, what else? What are some other telltale signs?
Another telltale sign is if the kids don't. If I'll go off the kids back. If my kids ain't feeling you, I'm not feeling you. I'm gonna get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Something ain't right. But I had started story, and it's a shame. And the mom shouldn't have never left her 16-year-old daughter with him. Period.
Well, that was her husband. You know, it's a package deal. A lot of y'all women, you date guys, and you already have a family, ready-made family. You know, you shouldn't date nobody that's not going to accept your children as a package deal, period.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, you should. I mean, if a man can, yeah. Hold on, sister. Hold it. Okay. If the man got a problem with your children, he got a problem with you, period. That's somebody you shouldn't be dating, period. You know, and you know, a lot of women, they want, you know, they don't want to be lonely, and I understand it. It's not good to be lonely, but sometimes you just got to do what you have to do to keep a peace of mind. Now, that lady, it said, according to the video, she was dating this guy for 2 years. Then they got married. You know, she probably didn't see this coming. And I'm going to tell y'all, people, you got so many people out here that's so lustful. They full of lust. They full of lust. And they don't care if they get off on a girl or a boy. They lust is so powerful, so strong, it have overtaken them. They don't care if they get off on a girl or a boy. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, ladies, I understand that a lot of y'all, you know, getting these little body makeups and over makeup and all that, and you parading around the man and you thinking you the prize. He said, no, mama, you ain't the prize. Your daughter the prize. That's who I'm interested in. But I'm going to play my role. I'm going to play daddy. But the moment I get an opportunity to get your daughter or your son, I'm going in. His lust. Don't you know how many times that this monster that you see on the screen right here battled with it himself not to do what he did to this young, beautiful young lady? Period. Brandon, you ready?
It's disgusting. I am ready. Yeah.
Okay,
Back
cool.
to that subject. It's disgusting regardless of how you think about it.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Disgusting. Absolutely, it's disturbing. But if you think about it, it would be the least person you would suspect, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, Brandon, maybe it's just me. I see so many people, young and old, in that cell phone, man, not paying attention. Always eyes glued to the cell phone. Always not
In
paying
my
attention.
opinion, I think technology is a curse and also a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Possibly.
with AI, artificial intelligence, more evolving.
Mm-hmm.
It's only going to either get dangerous or more better. Just depends on what spectrum.
So these
But
are
pretty much,
go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
assist law enforcement agencies with missing person investigations. I have quite a few articles on my name. If you guys have questions regarding some missing persons, feel free to ask. I'll answer them.
Okay, well, say what you got to say. I'm listening to you, bro.
If anybody has any questions in the chat about missing persons, now's the time to ask it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, I'm waiting on the people in the chat. Let me just say something. I just did a missing person the other day. I interviewed both parents and put them both on Facebook, and we got results within 2 hours. She was found within 2 hours. 2 hours. A 15-year-old. Now, why she left home?
That's something admirable.
Yeah, I mean, people know. I've been doing this for years. I don't claim to be a super expert, but I tell you one thing: I've helped a lot of people.
Right.
And I did my best. And I told them, both of them parents, I said, I need you to look into this camera, into this phone, and talk to your daughter, because she's going to see this video. It's going to surface.
Right.
It's going to get back to her. And I said, what I don't need you to do, whoever got her, who's holding her against her will or whatever, I don't need you to threaten them. Because sometimes when people feel threatened, they will start killing. They get very destructive.
Definitely. They'll do things that we'll think are not possible.
I remember a situation where on one of the cases I was working on, and I was going back and forth with the guys, and I said, listen, man, the mother said if you let her daughter go, she's not going to press charges. She just want her daughter back. Because sometimes, Brandon,
go ahead.
You know that these guys that snatch these women up, they can kill them, and they will kill them.
Oh, of course.
They don't have a problem with killing them.
Human trafficking in Chicago is very high right now.
Yeah.
But I think that's Tavia. I believe that's how you say your name. I don't want to, but usually it takes about 2 years, I would say, before cases become officially a closed case.
Okay. Charles.
No, Brandon, actually,
go ahead.
3 years. Because I said no, Brandon. Actually, 3 years. Because I'm actually fighting a case for my daughter. But Brian, I want to also say they need to be aware that school getting out these sex trafficking is real high. It's the
absolutely.
So we gotta pay attention to our kids. They is using this as a weapon, as a defense. So these parents need to be aware of who their kids hanging out with. They got other girls grooming these kids. So yeah, that's why when you shared the video, I shared it because the police don't care. They don't care. I'm gonna just put that out there. I'm a mom. I'm a victim of it, and I know all the telltale signs. That's why I can't get off Facebook because when you are Vera Giles, y'all always put up a missing kid. I share it because I am going to help the next parent. But all the telltale signs, yes. So
and I wouldn't say law enforcement doesn't care per se. I would say they lack resources. I mean, they lack the education to actually perform an investigation on missing persons. Like, there's been so many detectives that I've spoken to, and they are unfamiliar with, EDRs, which is like pretty much an emergency disclosure report, which pretty much pulls data from social media platforms without needing like a warrant or a subpoena.
But Mark, I wanted to also say this: when any kid go missing, tell the parents, don't hesitate. Go make that police report. They gotta have that report because that would make them find them kids even quicker.
Yeah. Well, also make a fly.
Never mention the words "runaway" to the authorities either.
Right.
Because if you mention the word, like if you mention like, "Oh, my daughter may be a runaway," they're gonna like it's in their like system that they're gonna label her as a runaway just for future cases, and then sometimes they won't like put too much effort into it.
Well, you know what, Brandon? Yeah, man.
I got another caller. Go ahead, sister.
She got my daughter home, and every time they made her ring, I have a report. And right now, today, I go back to court. They is in the process of giving me a court date, but we gotta save our kids. We gotta save our kids.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Now, you said your daughter's not missing anymore, right? So what are you talking about a court date?
No.
For the guys that did something to her, sex trafficked her?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
all right. That's what we're
court.
talking about.
I'm
Okay. Well, that when he said cold case means it's different. So you was there, it said 2 years. But Brandon, if you got any statistics, you can definitely talk about it. Let me go to the next caller, 7708. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, we're doing how we do it, Martin. I just
Good.
want to add on. I want to add to this just to get my little perspective real quick, and then I want to answer the question about the telltale signs. But I'm gonna give a little analogy real quick. Let's say you live in a neighborhood where it's been a lot of shooting and killing going on, and you know that everyone on the block got a gun. Some people might say, well, I'm gonna get a gun to protect myself. And the next man might say, well, I'm completely staying away from guns whatsoever. I don't care what's going on. And likewise, a lot of times we know that the violence against women is perpetrated by men. We know that. And some women will be done wrong by men and just completely say, forget all men. I hate men. They're dangerous. I can't have them around no one. And then another woman might say, well, because I know that men are violent against women, I'm going to find a good man that can help me kind of face this world. And what I hate that happens, which is unfortunate, that a lot of women completely just think that all men are bad, all men are unsafe, and you just can't keep a man around your house. When the child is there, you can't leave a baby alone. And so but this happens because of they're victimized a lot of times. And so I do want to say that there are some good men out there, and you can leave your babies around men, but you have to vet them. You can't just, to your point, Martin, you can't just leave your baby with a random person. They have had to show you themselves throughout a lifespan. So if this is an uncle that you grew up with, he's been around the girls and the boys in the family, and he's known to be trusted, okay, we can leave these children with him. But there are some signs that even men can look at. I know it's a lot of men who make comments about very young girls. They will never be around my child, let alone be alone with them. You can see the type of people they're attracted to, who they date. If they have a tendency to like younger girls, even if she's 20 and he is in his 50s or 60s, that's still kind of weird, because of the age gap. I don't care that she's over 18. He has a lust for young girls. And so they'll show you their tendencies and what they like and the type of women that they, in the comments that they make. And you can't ignore that. You can't be like, oh, that's uncle. You know, he just be acting funny. He an old pervert. No, you better watch that old pervert because he's still a man who is attracted to women, and some men like young girls. And so little stuff like that, you can't be so desperate that you need to get out and have a babysitter that you're willing to let anyone watch your kids. You know, so, but I just wanted to just real quickly, I ain't gonna keep you too long, just say that there are good men, and just because something like this happens, I just hate for women to just turn around and think that all men are like this and they can't be trusted, because there are good men that'll help you face this world. And you might be less likely, not to blame the woman, but you might be less likely for these things to happen if you can find a good male partner to help you face this world. Because none of us are good when we're alone. So you need a healthy male figure that'll give you a sense of hope and a sense of protection and some provisions and things like that men can bring. But you just got to be mindful of any company that you keep.
Well said.
That's true. But some females, like, of their past, they get so closed off, and it's like hard for a male it's hard for a male to actually, like, you know, establish a relationship with that female because of their past, you know.
And you can't blame them. It's a result of what happened to them. But again, similar to my analogy of when everyone had a gun on the block, would you get a gun or would you stay away from the gun? Like, and there's an argument for both sides, but you don't just disregard all men as a result of an isolated incident or something happened. There's still some good people out here that you can team up with, despite what might have happened to you. And not to minimize anything that might have happened, but there's still some good men that you can leave around the kids, and they love to be around the kids. They don't let no kids sit on their lap. They're very well mannered. They reinforce the ethics and morals that you want to enforce in your child. So someone who's very consistent with what you believe in and the things you're trying to do. If, you know, any little thing, if they're not trying to feed the kids what you feed them, they don't need to be around your kids, because they need to be you when you're not around, essentially. If they're not going to be consistent with how I raise my kids when I'm not around, they don't need to be around my kids, especially alone. So someone is just consistent with how you go about your life. If you're a faith-based person, they don't need to be an atheist, not around your kids, because ain't no telling what they might tell them. If you don't believe in same-sex marriage, then I can't let someone, whether it's a man or a woman, condition them to think that same-sex marriage is okay if that's how I'm trying to raise my kids.
You guys got to have, like, similar views.
Exactly.
Okay, Brandon, I need you to ask a question too.
Sure.
What's the data? Charles Phillips said, let me see, he asked a question. What's some of the data of missing young girls being found or something? Yeah, Charles Phillips. He's in the tech. He asked a question. He said, well, any statistical data?
So pretty much I would say, from my experience, I would say, like, missing persons reported in, like, suburban cities, you know, Orland Park, you know, Oak Lawn, you know, areas like that. They have a tendency to actually resolve more missing persons due to, like, you know, the lack of crime in those areas, I would say, compared to, like, Chicago, where it's a very high crime base.
Okay. Now period. What's the time? Do you have any statistics on that? What's the time frame of an average person that come up missing? Is it 30%, 40% that they found, or is it solved, or, you know? That's what I believe he's asking.
It varies by state. I personally help, like, all 50 states, and, like, it's a gap.
Okay. I'm trying to. Okay.
I was helping a few families in Texas, and you know, it wasn't good. I'll say that.
Right. His question was, how many missing persons cases are solved by missing person detective in the urban communities? That was his question.
Oh, a lot.
You got a number? You got any statistic numbers on there or some?
I don't have any statistical data, but I would say a lot.
Okay.
Compared to, like, you know, Chicago.
Okay. All right. Now, I need some more people to call in. The number is 299-0808. And the reason why I need you, I need ladies to call in too. We're talking about missing people. Also, we're talking about sex crime, avoiding sex crimes in the home. What are some of the telltale signs of a predator in the home? You know, what are some of the telltale signs in the home? I think what I'm gonna do, Brandon, let me play this video one more time. Then yeah, play it for those that Johnny came late that came in, and play it one more time, and then we can just so they can get a lot of people have watched.
I can't say that I support my uncle and what he did because I don't. I love my uncle. He is my uncle. I'm going to always be for him. But at the same time, you have to understand that people have to be accountable for their actions. If we don't hold people accountable for the things that they do wrong, then people will continue to do wrong. You can't determine what's right or what's wrong based off of a blood relation. I love my uncle to death. I swear I do. But I will never be able to understand how he did something like this to Lauren. He loved Lauren and Lauren loved the life out of him. How he could take her life from her. I can never understand it.
Life always serves as a reminder of why it can be tough to trust people in general, but in this particular story, as you may have heard from the preceding clip, no one saw this catastrophe coming. The narrative begins when a woman, believing a stepfather would always look out for their daughter, gives her child her whole trust, not realizing she was endangering her own child in the process. Let's delve further into this case to see what ultimately caused 16-year-old Lauren Juma's life to end tragically. Before we begin this video, we would like to express our deepest sympathies to the family and friends who were severely affected by this horrible crime. We would also like to send condolences to Lauren's family and friends. Today's case takes us to Humble. Humble is a city located in Harris County, Texas. The city has a population of around 16,000 residents. Humble is situated in southeastern Texas, within the Houston metropolitan area, approximately 20 miles northeast of downtown Houston. The city of Humble was named after one of its founding members, Pleasant Smith Humble. It was originally established as a booming oil town in the early 20th century.
3. Long live Lauren! Don't stop! Good work! Get out! Work it, Lauren! Work it out! Work it, Lauren! Work it out! Don't stop! Just work it out! Work it, Lauren! Work it out! Work it, Lauren! Work it out! Don't stop! Just work it out! We love you, Lauren!
December 21st, 2005, saw the birth of Lauren Mackenzie Juma in Houston, Texas. The Nimitz High School sophomore, who had recently joined the cheerleading squad, had lofty goals for the future, including a career in the Air Force. Lauren was a polite, intelligent girl who always had a grin on her face. She cherished butterflies, basketball, and drawing. Her mother gave her a huge teddy bear for Christmas 3 years ago. Having given him the name Ted, Lauren informed her elder sisters that he was only hers and they were not allowed to touch him. Lauren's mother, Lori Young, was happy with a 60-year-old man called Van Brisbane when they started dating 5 years ago. After 2 years, he moved in with Lauren and Lori. Lori seemed to love and trust Van, and they seemed to be happy. They were a happy family, with Van supposedly taking on the role of a father. Brisbane was adored by a few of Lori's family. However, a man with terrible intents is hidden beneath that loving father. And things started taking turn for the worst. When a young woman reported to 911 that her mother's boyfriend was holding her sister captive inside the house, deputies were made aware of the situation. At around 1 in the morning on Friday, deputies from the Harris County Constable's office arrived at the incident in the 20400 block of Canton Trace. Authorities said that after they arrived, they heard 2 gunshots, followed by yelling and another gunshot. A male emerged from the house very immediately after, according to the sheriff's office. Deputies said the 60-year-old suspect came out of the home and told them, "Do what you have to do." He was then taken into custody. At about 1 in the morning, Karika Harmon, her older sister, and her mother Lori Young received a FaceTime call from Juma, who informed them that Brisbane was in a room in the dark and that her mother needed to get him out. After Juma shouted that he was carrying a pistol, the conversation was cut off. Lauren's mother was out of town for work when the teen reached out to her, begging her to save her. Lauren was discovered dead from gunshot wounds inside. The only two people inside the residence at the time of the murder were Lauren and Brisbane. Lauren was discovered by deputies with her pants down to her knees and suffering from several gunshot wounds. Brisbane was nabbed by deputies with his pants also down. From the $1 million bond a probable cause court judge set for Brisbane following his arrest, the judge increased it to $2 million. The reason for the killing is still unknown.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Sirota.
And I'm Lisa Hernandez. Van Brisbane is charged with murder in the death of Lauren Juma, a junior who attended Nimitz High School in Aldine ISD. Our Kathy Hernandez joining us live from downtown. What was decided in the courtroom this morning? Kathy?
Good morning. All of this went down just a few minutes ago, so we are working to get you all of this information. But what I can tell you right now, a judge increased his bond to $2 million. This while investigators are waiting results to determine if Van Brisbane sexually assaulted the victim before he killed her. 60-year-old Brisbane is charged with murder in the death of his stepdaughter, 16-year-old Laura Juma. He stood in court this morning wearing an orange jumpsuit. According to prosecutors, Lauren called her mom on FaceTime Friday morning, saying he was standing inside her room in the dark and wanted her to tell him to get out, which she did. They say Lauren then screamed, "Mom, he has a gun," and then the call ended. When deputies arrived, they heard 2 gunshots. They took Brisbane into custody and found Lauren dead inside the home. Her father told us she wanted to join the military after high school and one day become a police officer. We talked to Brisbane's niece, who is here inside the courtroom and very emotional.
I don't know. I can't say that I support my uncle and what he did because I don't. I love my uncle. He is my uncle. I'm going to always be for him. But at the same time, you have to understand that people have to be accountable for their actions. If we don't hold people accountable for the things that they do wrong, then people will continue to do wrong. You can't determine what's right or what's wrong based off of a blood relation. I love my uncle to death. I swear I do. But I will never be able to understand how he did something like this to Lauren. He loved Lauren and Lauren loved the life out of him. How he could take her life from her, I can never understand it.
Very emotional moments there here at the courthouse. Again, a judge increased his bond to $2 million. This while they are awaiting results to see if he sexually assaulted the victim before he killed her. They say those charges could be upgraded to capital murder. Reporting live in downtown Houston, Kathy Hernandez, KPRC 2 News.
Kathy, thank you. Now
But according to the evidence at the scene, authorities think she was raped before she was killed. The 16-year-old's future was bright, but sadly, it ended so abruptly and cruelly. Everyone who came into contact with Lauren adored her, and she will be missed for her gentle and caring heart. We hope her soul finds peace. If you would like to stay...
All right, people. Wow. That was terrible. Wasn't that terrible, guys? Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. My goodness. Whoa. Well, y'all see for what it is. It's strange. I mean, you just don't know what the hearts in the people. And I don't want you guys to go on here. Martin, there ain't no good men out here. There's no good men. We can't trust nobody. I'm not saying that you could never trust nobody, but you have to be aware of who you dating. And like earlier, the young man said, you have to know who you keeping around your company, who your company is. You have to know them. You know, a lot of you Don't a lot of women on here, you don't like to talk about these different sexual sins that's going on, but it's real, and we got to face it. It's going on. And I told you again, those that was on here, that wasn't on here earlier, I know of a case just like this in the Chicagoland where the guy, he killed 2 people, sister and brother. The brother was trying to take up for his sister. The man just got out of prison. The lady took him in the house and she was at work. And he violated her children. Violated them. We got some sick people out here, people. That lust spirit is so strong in them, they can't help it. They can't help it. That lust spirit have overthrown them, have took over their minds. They can't help it, people. No self-control. And I'm going to tell you, people, like the brother said earlier, he watch where people know they like, especially males. By him having a daughter, he got to look and watch. And I'm going to tell you, our children are not safe nowhere, actually. In school, in church, day camp, daycare, all, they could be sexual assaulted anywhere, people. We have to pray over our children. We have to question our children. We have to watch their behavior. When all of a sudden they just getting quiet and don't want to talk anymore. They not their perky self no more. Something has went wrong. Period. So this young lady, her pants was pulled all the way down to her ankle. He came outside with his pants down to his ankle. And even if he didn't sexual assault her, the intent was that, what you doing, man? What you doing in her room with all the lights out with a pistol? What you doing in her room? Come on, brother. Man, give your stepdaughters their space. Period. Don't be in the bathroom with them while they're taking a shower. Please don't. No wrestling with them, tickling them. You know, these fondling, they don't know. Mama, watch your daughters. Watch your sons. You got grown men. They are sexually attracted to young people, young males and young females. Period. You have to watch them. The number is 872-299-0808. Yeah, she called her mother phone. Go ahead.
I want to add to that what you just said too. I have dated women, and I like grown women.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had to tell her, I can't come over here. You got your daughter over here. She ain't got no bra on. The nipple, you can see her nipples through her shirt. You know what I'm saying? She's sitting there with her legs open. I can't be around a woman who haven't trained her daughter how to behave herself.
Right. Like properly.
And not to say that the young girl was doing it intentionally, but I dated one young girl. Right, and the little girl walking around with her drawers on. Look, it's a man. You got company over here. You got to know to tell the kids to stay in their room. Or, as a matter of fact, I'm not even going to come over there while they're over there, but put some clothes on. So there is some type of responsibility you have as well when you have company over if they're going to be around adults. And it's not just a man, but a woman too. Because some women say, oh, well, we all girls. You can walk around how we walk around. It's a woman predator out here as well. You know, put some clothes on when you get company. You don't just walk around here. You put a bra on. You know what I mean? Put some pants on, or stay where you know what I mean. Stay in your room somewhere. But they need to be mindful of that as well.
Yes, that's a good point.
Because you're more comfortable around men, no, you need to put some clothes on. Otherwise, I can't come around you or your child.
I done heard parents. Well, she ain't number 14. What you doing looking at her anyway? This her house. She can dress any way she want to. I can hear them right now. I'm telling you. I don't care if she.
It's the 14-year-old. It's the 14-year-olds that decide to, like, all right, we're gonna put some makeup on. We're gonna put some foundation on. We're gonna go to the club.
But it's true.
At 14, I was trying to do it, and so they got hormones. They're human beings, even though they're young, and as a young person, you would love to be. I mean, let's be honest. As a young person, that's kind of a notch on your belt if you got an older person attracted to you. So they don't know no better. You know what I mean? They don't have the discretion to know that it's inappropriate. So a lot of times they might be trying to catch the eye of an older guy. They might think it's cute that, oh, he like me more than he like my mama. Ain't no telling what's going on in the adolescent mind. But to your point, Martin, you said something else though. Like some of these men, like we're human beings, right? We got an animal in us. We ain't nothing but another animal. So some men can't control that animal within them, and it's like dangling meat in front of them. And you can't dangle the meat too long because they're gonna try to mount that. It's gonna be like it's back in the jungle somewhere, and they won't be able to tame that wild beast in them. Some men don't got that discipline, and so you better not tempt him. And not to blame the woman or any of that, but some of it's literally like meat, and they're a wild animal, and they gonna attack.
And let me say this, ladies, why it's on my mind, and I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it in love. Because sometimes the women think I'll be a little harsh on it, but I have to tell the truth and shame. Hate me now, but thank me later. Or love me later. I have been in places where the baby is on one side, the mama in the middle, and the man is on the other side. If you're going to be involved in any kind of sexual intercourse while your child is sleeping in the bed with you and your partner, talking about male and female, that's a no-no. The baby need to be in the bed by him or herself. Period. That's another thing too. You don't know what's in the minds and the hearts of these people. Period. Now, I got to say it. I got to tell the truth. And the brother is right. Your little older, overdeveloped teenage daughter walk around there with piercings, nipple piercings, tattoos up her sleeve like she grown, hair all the way down to her buttocks or braids or with all that, lashes, makeup, all that, looking like an adult. She have no business around you and your man, period, parading around. Well, Martin, this is her house. She should be able to walk in the house wherever she wants, but you got company in the house. Certain things you have to refrain from doing when you have company in the house, period. And again, your stepdaughter, men, should not be sitting in your lap, period. Period. You should not be in their room wrestling with them in the bed, period, men. You should not be knocking on the bathroom door trying to get in and make like you got to pee while they're in the shower in the bathtub. You trying to test the water, see how far you go. You should not be in her room standing over her while she sleep, acting all creepy. You should not be. See, I'm the type of person, you ain't got to go on with the act, but if I know you thinking it, you just as guilty. Well, I didn't touch her. I didn't touch it. Sandra, did I touch you? No, you didn't touch Sandra, but your intentions was there. You in the room while at nighttime, you standing over her bed. And you got you running your hands through her hair. Or you call yourself pulling the sheets over or moving the sheet funneling. Women, watch out for men like this. I'm telling you. And watch your sons too. And do not prostitute your daughters. Sell your daughters out to these type of men at all. Because a lot of women, you push your daughters on these grown men to get money because you're tired of being a responsible parent. And I'm just telling the truth. And some of your mothers, you should not be dressing like your teenage daughter, period. When a man enter your home, he shouldn't have to guess who's the mother and who's the daughter. Don't need to be dressing up like with the same outfit. Have some respect for your daughter. Have some respect for yourself. Well, you say, well, Martin, I'm grown. I got nipple piercings. I got my belly button pierced. I got a piercing up here on my eye. I got tattoos. I got my tongue pierced. You're grown. But you also have a daughter that's looking upon you, watching you. And like I said earlier in the program, those that was here, the sister said, if your children don't like your man, but listen, once your children see you with so many different men, they ain't gonna like none of them no more. Because you're entertaining strange men around your children. It's a no-no. It's a no-no. And like the brother said, all men are not like this. But it's your duty as a parent to protect your sons and your daughters as being adults from predators. Period. Your daughter, okay, hold on. Your overdeveloped daughter should not be in the room alone with your man. Period. Sitting on the bed, sitting in the room. Should not be. Certain things should not be tolerated. There's got to be a boundary. Go ahead, my brother.
I got just a quick question. Now, do you think, although we know it's appropriate to breastfeed, of course, but is it appropriate to breastfeed in front of a man if it's not the father? Do it create some type of sexual arousal?
It could be.
I mean, what do you think about that?
It could be. It depends on the man. It could be. I wouldn't recommend that breastfeeding in front of company. You should do that in private. You know, I think not in front of company, because you don't know. See, the thing is, when we leave out in the morning or at midnight, go to work, we lock our doors because why? We suspect somebody might just come in our house. So what I'm saying is, the person that you're dating, young lady, you love him, you care for him, but you don't know what's in his heart. So what you have to protect the best interest of your child. Now, you want your child to respect an adult. That's the right thing to do. But at the same time, you tell that man that you're dating and you put him standing right in front of your daughter. You see my daughter right here? If you can't be a father to my daughter and treat her like she's one of yours, I don't need you around her. I don't want you looking at my daughter any kind of way. Period. I'm not saying you can't be no man, but you cannot be looking at my daughter any kind of lust way. If I get any vibe that you're watching my daughter in a sexual way, or she tell me she feel you out of here. Women, you have to tell your man, your partner, your significant other, your boyfriend, whoever, my children are off limits. And what I mean by off limits, sexually. Period. And let me say this too, brother. I have been in homes where they have grown children in there. And some men, they going. Brother, they going. You got an 18-year-old daughter, 19-year-old daughter, 21-year-old daughter, and they dating a woman 42, 43, 45 or something like that. They going. They are going. They will mess around with the daughter too. Well, she ain't no little kid. She grown, but let me just say this to the men. Men, if a woman brings you into her apartment, her home, her house, in her castle, at least you could do respect her children. Well, you say, well, Martin, they're grown. She was looking at me. She was switching when I was walking by. Give me the Google eye. Listen, sir, respect her children. Don't violate her children. You're there for the adult. If you find yourself falling for that, you need to leave that woman alone, period. And just me. Because some men, they ain't going to mess with no little girl, but they'll mess with the grown daughter. And that's wrong too, as well. Period. All right, that's what I had to say. I'm done talking now. Anybody else said something? Yeah, I'm
Freaking
done.
Martin Luther King in the building.
All right. Thank you, Brandon, for y'all for tuning in, and hopefully I said something that could alarm the women. And I'm not saying every man come in your house. You just got to watch. You got to pay attention, and you got to let him know how you feel about your children. Let him know. I don't mind you being a man. I won't take that from you. But I don't need you to inappropriately looking at my daughter or touching her or saying anything in a sexual manner. Period.
Now, Martin, what if she extend the if she asks you to change the baby diaper?
That's okay. I mean, if you feel that you're capable of doing that, that's okay. Be male or female. Some people, that's okay. Some people don't feel comfortable doing that.
Got that situation or what?
Well,
say that again.
Brandon said it. Repeat yourself.
Like, what this is like a stepdad situation, or like would you be actually like the father changing your own kid's diaper?
Well,
So I think with Martin, in the context of what Martin talking about, I think you talking about steps and like boyfriend. We're not talking about the biological parent, right?
Right. Well, I can say this. You have some men do meet females that have small children. And and they have accepted the children and love the children. Acceptable. You still have to watch. So, I think that's acceptable. If he's willing to love the children, love the woman, so I understand that. But you still got to be on the lookout. And women, you got to make your rules when you allow the man to come in your house, especially live with you. Just make your rules. Let them know, hey, my children is off limits. Any kind of.
I don't know. I don't like shit, so I can't see myself changing diapers.
Right. Well, yeah, I have changed.
So in terms of like the red flags or the telltale signs of people volunteer, I'll change the baby. Oh no, why are you so excited to change the baby?
Right.
That's my antennas go after that.
Well,
most people that's something they dread.
Well, you got some stepfathers do watch your children while the mom go to work. You can't leave a pamper on the baby all day. So they have to, they can't afford a babysitter. They can't afford daycare. So they working together. They building. So it depends on you how comfortable the woman feel about her partner. I would say that. That'll have to be your judgment call. That would have to be your judgment call. Period. I understand what you're saying, my brother. So that's just me.
People, they volunteer. Well, I'll change the baby for you. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, no, I've seen that though. And it's just like, you want to be able to trust them, but that's a very intimate space. You better know you trust somebody to be changing your baby diaper like that. You better know for sure you can trust them.
That's right. And
the baby, they can't advocate for themselves. So
I have dated women that I've never met her children. They don't even let you come around them. You got some women like that. You don't even, they don't even want you. They're not even going to introduce you to their children. Period. You know that they have children. You might hear talk about them and all that, but you've never met them. Right. And I agree with you too, Nettie, May. But if the mama is there, I think the mama should do it. You're correct. I think that too. And what we're talking about the stepdads or the boyfriend that's not the biological father of the child. That's what we're talking about. So don't get it confused. Don't get it confused. Now, every man is not sick. Every man is not lustful. This does not apply to every man. I'm just saying, pay attention to whoever you sleeping in the bed with, sharing your body with, who bring children around your children and things like that. Pay attention to that. So, we live in a day and time where you can have two couples get together and they can have each one of them have a child and they all come and live together like the Brady Bunch. And the children can sexually each other too. Be in the bed doing things.
No,
You
I
have,
actually have a question.
yes.
Do you guys think it's a red flag for like the father not wanting to change the baby's diaper, like the biological father, right?
Right.
And then we could also say like the stepdad too.
It could be, if not one, it could be. It could be a pure lady. It could be. It could be. You know, some dads
I
don't.
don't know. I can't see.
Go ahead.
I'm a guy. I can't see myself changing a diaper.
Well,
I think, as a father, I don't think it's certain things you can opt out of, but he might be trying to protect himself. So, like, look, I don't even want to be around that because he might know himself well. Like, I just don't even, like, for example, a man may say, I don't need anything to come across my lap because biology kicks in. So if anything sit on my lap, it's going to get aroused.
Right.
And it's not because I'm intentionally sexually aroused. It's just that I'm stimulated. Biology, it's just by my human biology, my body, just like if you get a hostage and they're tied up and you tickle their feet, they don't laugh. It's not that they're laughing and they're enjoying it. It's just your body responds a certain way. That's why it should nothing come across your lap unless it's a grown woman. So he might say, I don't even want to be in that position because I don't even want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just might be mindful of the fact that I just don't even want to be between the little baby legs like that.
Right. And you know what? Me personally, as an adult male, I don't watch other people's children, small children. I just don't do it. I don't even want to be left alone with them because I don't want to put myself in a situation. And I know I've never violated a child or anything, but I don't even want that in my mind, in my aura right there. You don't want that. That's a dangerous thing. Dangerous.
Right.
You know, you can't recover from that. Once you get a reputation out here for messing with somebody's child or something like that's a dangerous thing. Very dangerous. So men, if you feel a certain way, you ask your ladies, listen, I don't feel comfortable watching the babies. I know I live here, but we got to work out a babysitter or somebody. I don't feel comfortable watching. You know, and that's understandable. If you got a woman and you talk to her, she probably very well can understand that. Yeah. All right. Anything else, guys?
All right. What do you guys think is like the responsible age for someone to like babysit?
At least a teenager, at least 14 to 15. Yeah. At least 14, 15.
To your point, Martin, I think that's up to the parents' discretion. And you've trained this young adult to watch the child. But mind you, if you leave in the house with them to watch the baby, they also get the house to themselves. So they might want to try to hurry up, put the baby to bed so they can have company. Like, I'm not too comfortable leaving the 14, 15-year-old in the house alone anyway. I might have them watch the baby while I go to sleep early just to kind of, it's levels to it before you just leave them alone, isolated with the baby. You know what I'm saying? So you let them show you that they can responsibly watch the baby, care for the baby, and then you kind of slowly pull the reins away. But you don't just leave them alone just because they're 14 and the law said that they can be left alone for 6 hours at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But to Martin's point, I would be comfortable if I knew I raised this 14-year-old and I know they're responsible enough to be in the house and watch the baby. So that's around the time you get your first job. That sounds like your first job. You babysit.
Right. Let me address something. Patrick Williams said, you are an undercover pervert if you can't watch your kids. Can't watch kids. Now, it's not that, to me, I know I'm not a pervert. I would say that you just don't want that stigma on you. You have to be careful. You really have to be careful with that. We live in a day and time where it's certain things, you can't let your good be evil spoken of. You have to protect yourself. You have to do it. And I'm going to tell you, ask anybody that has been falsely accused of funneling a baby or mishandling a baby or some type of way, that's not a good feeling. I've never been in that situation, but you can talk to anybody. And regardless of a person, I'd rather, if I was a woman and a man straight up and tell me, hey, I don't feel comfortable, listen, he ain't got to say it twice. I'm protecting minds. That's just me. Right. If I was a woman, that's just me. Just me. Then you got some men, they don't even want to watch their own babies. No longer another woman's babies. Period. So you got to be careful. That's a slippery slope there. You know, you got to respect the man's boundaries. If a brother,
Can I speak to that, Martin?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, historically and traditionally, we all got different roles. Usually the mom, and not to say that a man can't do it, but a mom take care of the potty training and a lot of those type of things, just like a woman. And we living in the same household, she not going to touch the garbage. We got different roles in the rearing and the upbringing of these children, especially when they're in those Pampers, is usually handled by the mom. Not to say a man can't do it, but it's usually how things play out in a traditional setting, even though I know a lot of things not traditional anymore. There's certain things that, like, a woman not going to touch the garbage. Are you going to suggest that a woman X, Y, and Z because she don't do that? A man don't want to touch no diapers. It's just certain things that a man do and a woman do. And if you ask a great deal of us, a mom probably potty trained you and changed your diaper and all that. The dad probably didn't touch that area of the upbringing. He did other stuff. And the man did stuff in the home that the mom didn't do. That's normal. You know what I'm saying? Like you can ask a woman, she said, I don't even know what it takes to garbage at. He handled all of that. I don't even know what it takes to garbage. So I don't know about that comment.
Yeah, but he said it's a difference from being uncomfortable and not wanting to be bothered. Let me just say this. Ladies, listen to me. If a man tell you that he feel uncomfortable watching your children, listen to him. Don't even think twice. Trust me. If he say that, get your babies. Period. First of all, you would want somebody that's watching your babies that's responsible and want to do it. The worst thing in the world is to leave your children entrusted with some adult and they don't want to watch the children. They're liable to let them do anything. That's the worst thing in the world.
Yep.
That's the word. I'm telling you, that's endangering your child. I would say that. You pushing your baby off for somebody to watch your baby and they don't want to do it. No. That's a possible chance they can mistreat your child. Especially small children that can't really talk and explain themselves. I'm telling you. I'm a grandfather, people. I know. And Patrick Wilson said let it be a red flag then. If you feel it's a red flag, it's a red flag. Because if I was a woman and a man tell me he don't feel comfortable watching shit, I'll be the same way. I'm telling you. It could be a red flag. Long as they ain't flagging my baby or my child. Period. You respect when a man tell you something. Period. See, I'm not going to put myself in no situation. I don't whoop other people's children, and I don't watch other people's children. Period. You'll never say I mishandled somebody or touched somebody. Never. Never. Because, see, I know how wicked this place is and how evil people are. It'll set you up. Nettie said, and be careful when your baby start crying when you leave them with someone. That's right. Your baby trying to tell you something. I agree with that. Yeah. You should love kids and kids should gravitate to you if you a good father figure. They should. But you can't tell children how to think. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have hard. Listen, you got some sick people out here. Sick that love children in a sexual manner. They don't want no adult. They want a child. Period. You got some child molesters out here. They won't molest their immediate family, but they'll go out and molest somebody else's family members. They'll be the perfect father to their relatives, the perfect role model, but they'll go out and mistreat and molest and touch somebody else's child. Period. I'm telling you, I'm a grandfather. I got experience. I say it all the time. Listen, you don't hear too many people talking the way I'm talking. I tell the truth and shame the devil. This is real. Listen, sometimes you cannot look at a person and tell you and try to discern what's in their heart. Can't do it. Can't do it. Some people, they only see good in people. They don't see nothing else but good. That's real talk. That's right. Anybody that does harm to a child don't love her. Any parent that mistreat a child don't love her. Any daycare teacher or school teacher that mistreat a child don't love her. Anybody that does harm to any child don't love them. Whether that be a doctor, whether that be a fireman, you in a burning house, and you see a little child laying on the couch, and you know you can say to the child and you don't do it. You don't love no children. So it's love, brother. But you got some lustful, demonic people out here. And they are everyday, they policemen, they school teachers, they bus drivers, they uncles, they nephews.
They're everywhere.
They're everyone. They even
not everyone, but they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere. And you got some of these women predators. They just as worse as some men. And you know, Brandon, you got some women, they kidnap little girls too. Call themselves, turn them out, sex traffic them. Same sex.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people like to put the preview on guys as like being like the whole, evil, but not. Women are actually capable of the same thing as guys.
Yeah. There's some sick people out here, and that's the purpose of this program tonight, to let you know what to expect and what to look for, what some of the telltale signs are. Some of you ladies, you so busy running around the street, you'll leave your baby with anybody. You leaving your baby with your girlfriend's father, with your girlfriend's brother. You don't know him. You don't know what type of company he keeps in the house. We got some sick people out here, people. They're very sick. And I know y'all don't want to hear this, but I got to tell you the truth. You hate me now, but you love me later. You said that Crimechaser Martin G. Johnson told me. I should have paid attention to what he said. I thought this man was all into me. Come to find out, he was looking at my daughter. I caught him. Looking at my daughter. I caught him sliding my daughter some money. I caught him buying my daughter an outfit without me knowing. And that's another thing, ladies. Listen, if a man want to do something for your small children, he needs for the permission of you first. And it's like, I'm like this. If I'm outside in the public, I see some small children, I want to get them some, I consult their parents first. That's the right thing to do. You don't just walk up to no little bitty babies and just start handing them money and all, hand them a piece of candy. You don't do that. Well, you shouldn't do it. You suspect to me. And I don't mean because you so suspect to me that you had a bad intent. The intent might not have been bad, might have been good. But you have to be careful this day and time, how you move. Don't let your good be evil spoken of. I remember one time I was in the library in Woodlawn, and I used to see these twin girls. They used to come in all the time. It was cold in the winter. They had little bitty old jacket. They never had a coat. And I had 2 coats that I could have gave them. But what I did was, this is what I did, Brandon and West Side. I went to the security guard, pulled to the side. I said, listen, I noticed these two young teenagers, they don't have no coat, and I got 2 coats I want to give them, but I don't want them to know. I don't want to approach them with that. So what I'm going to do, I want to give them to you, and I want you not to never tell them where it came from, because I don't want nobody said nothing. I just didn't want my good to be even spoken of, and that's what I did. And that lady had nothing but all but respect for me because I did it in that manner. I met a need, but the security guard was the face of it, but I was behind it. And I told her not to tell her who gave it to her. They were looking around trying to see who gave the coat. I just kept my head down. But that's how you do things. What is it like a grown man walking up to a teenager, handing them some coats? They're going to be looking at me like, I'm crazy. What's up with this old man? What is he trying to do? So I politely talked to the security guard and gave it to her. And I said, I'm doing this as a blessing. I don't want no acknowledgement. Don't tell them where it come from or nothing. And I did, and she did it. Thank me.
Right.
And that's real talk. I mean, just respect for me. Now, I'm not saying everybody operate the way I operate, but me, you have to protect yourself, people. You can't be out here loosely doing things. You know?
What if the pastor at the church want to get a child some money?
Well, he should consult a mother and say, hey, I want to give your daughter or your son some money. Is that okay? Or I give it to you to give them. Just say it came from the pastor. So you have to, you gotta keep your, it's a respect, it's a boundary that you can't cross. Can't cross. You know, it's almost like this. An adult, you got a 12, we'll just say you got an 8-year-old daughter. Okay, now you know you can't take her in the bathroom, in the men's bathroom. So you let her go in the bathroom by herself, but you stand outside and wait till she come out. And I'm saying to say this, that way you can know. So if you hear a scream or something, you know you can go in there. So you have to do certain things, people, in decent and in order. That's all when you do certain things for people. When you bless people. I bless people all the time, but with the permission of the parent. And I guarantee you that go a long way. Then when you're trying to build a secret relationship with a minor without the parent's consent, that's suspect. To me, it is.
Right.
It's just suspect. You know? That's just like you telling a young teenage boy, hey, I want to take you to the show. You got to get the parents' permission to consent to do that. The same way with the schools do it. You fill out a school slip.
Permission slip, yeah.
Yeah. That I can take your child to the Brookfield Zoo or Great America, Six Flags Great America. And we should have the same mindset, people. I don't know what's on. We should have the same mindset, people. The same mindset when we dealing with like one of my earphones going out. When we dealing with children. We got to. Period. Men, take heed. Women, take heed. Take heed. And I hopefully that I've said something tonight. You may not understand it right now. You may be looking at me in a certain situation, but that's okay. You'll understand it all by and by. And a lot of times, when people give us instructions on how to handle things, and sometimes we don't understand it. But I'll say tonight, don't listen to respond. Listen to understand what it is I'm trying to say tonight. And if you listen to me tonight, men, I can save you a lot of trouble. And when I say it's a terrible thing when a person is being falsely accused of something and that's not them. So we have to be careful what we say, how we handle, how we engage in young people, especially if we're dating their parents. You know, you can't be calling somebody else's sons and daughters MFs and Bs and hookers and prostitutes and all that type of talk. You out of order. You out of order. I hope I'm making sense.
You are.
You know, and this is real. This is real, people. This is so real. And this is a serious conversation. It is painful, but it's necessary. It has to be brought out. It's so much sexual things going on in the home amongst not strangers, people that know, family members and boyfriends and girlfriends and things like that. You have to even watch two girls sleeping in the bed together now. They holding hands at 10 and 11. You got to watch that too, mamas. Because you got two females in the same bed, you still have to watch. You can't, you got two females, you got your daughter, neighbor over your house, both of they female, and they're hugged up like they're a couple in the bed. And you can't see nothing wrong with that, mama. Something wrong with you, mama and daddy. Hold on now, hold on. Y'all too close to embracing like y'all in a relationship. No. I'm serious. Go to some of these grammar schools. You'll see some of these young people hugging up, holding hands. I'm telling you.
And man, they're like 12 years old too.
Yeah.
They like they grown.
Yeah.
Can you kind of touch, if you got any experience, can you touch on the step siblings? Because sometimes the step siblings be messing around.
Yeah.
When the two families conjoin.
Can
you
I did
talk on that too?
Yeah, I did talk about that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I did talk about that too. If a man bring his daughter into the relationship, into the household, and I did that too as well. You have to be careful of that. Boy on boy or girl on boy, you have to be careful on that. I know a story, and I'm gonna brief talk about it, where a couple, male and female, got together, and the father brought a child. I ain't gonna just say it, but it was two females. Well, he brought a female, and the woman he married, she had a couple of female daughters and all that. And they were sleeping in the bed, and one started giving one oral. And this is when they was little. So this stuff is real. And remember, they got this internet, man, it's at a drop of a hat. Any subject that they want to talk about, all they got to do is Google. It's going to come right on up. Talk about it. They got chat groups for all types of freaks and perverts, for people wandering in their mind. And little girl, if you listen to me, and little boy, you listen to me. I don't care if you got sexual urges for the same sex. You better fight that spirit. You better nail it down in your spirit. Fight it. Don't allow that spirit to overthrow you. Period. Don't let nobody come along and groom you and say that's okay. This is 2024. Live your truth. No, that's not your truth. That's not God's plan for any of us. Now, yes, we can choose our own will and do what we want to do, and we are free will agents. We have that choice. But don't let nobody come around and groom you into something. It's almost going to take an act of God to get up off you. Get it up off you. Escape from it. And that's the same way with drugs, young people. If you're listening to me, anyone that introduces you to drugs is not your friend. They're trying to destroy you. And I'm not talking about if you already smoking weed and he's smoking weed or she's smoking weed. I'm not talking about matching the blood. I'm talking about if you don't do no drugs, or even if you're doing weed and they're trying to introduce you to exiting pills or lean, you better beware of that person. I'm telling you, people, these drugs out here, young people, are very powerful. And I'm going to say this, and some of y'all may not understand it, some of you may do. When you do drugs, drugs give you game. It gives you game, street game, slickness. It gives you game. I'm not an alcoholic, certified alcoholic counselor, but I know I've had older brothers that was on drugs for many years. And I've watched their behavior. I've watched them steal out the refrigerator. I watched them steal out of the house, sell things, all types of things. So I know we wasn't supposed to talk about alcohol and all that, but I had to throw that in. And ladies, I hope, and gents, I've said something that might alert you of what's going on in your household. Pay attention. And I'm going to say this publicly. I am not against male and female relationships. I'm not against two people loving each other, loving on each other, loving their children as if they're own. I'm not against that at all. I'm for that. I promote that. But what I am against is a man looking at children, looking at a woman's child or son, or even another woman looking at her partner's daughter or something with lust. Period. We have to be careful. All right, I think I'm going to end it with that, people. I think I'm going to end it with that. Willie Lump said, that's crazy. Brother, trust me, dope give you game. How you think you have so many dope things out here, they so slick and they know how to con? That wasn't in them. When they got them drugs in them, they learned how to con and scheme and connive and steal. Yeah. Thank y'all so much. Y'all already know what it is.
You already know what it is.
What is it?
Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.